discussion of Route 18 widening.
Do you guys want to
Project?
postpone that to the end and get through the business first, the new business?
What was that?
Do you want to postpone it and do the new business first,
Oh,
Sharon?
okay, I don't care.
Yeah,
Is
so, because
everybody
we got
here?
people waiting, so.
You're here for,
I'm here for the state on names all.
oh, okay. All right, new start with new business. Request for an extension on file number 84-415 for 89 Center Ave, Richard Mahoney.
How long of an extension does he want?
Right here.
That's it.
Do step up. I'm sorry. Come forward,
He wants to go to the
Hey,
next
Harvey?
meeting.
Can you go ahead, stand right there if you want.
I have a signed offer from someone to buy property, and the purchase and sale, I'm told right now, is with the attorney. So I would like an extension for 2 years, only because if something goes wrong with the sale, then next year I'll put something on the property.
There's nothing there now?
No.
Oh, that's why I went to 79, I saw nothing. The house is going out back?
Yes, there's a driveway to the left.
Okay.
I have the plans if you want to look at the plans.
I don't think it was here in my time, so
I,
I don't remember it. So I'll put
it's
that.
3 years ago, so.
I just forgot it.
So what's the, do we know the date on it? What date the original, or does the conditions expire?
These extension now for the, I guess the Extension Act, Permit Extension Act, brings it until June 26th of this year it expires.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back for a second. So we approved this a long time ago then, Nancy?
Yeah, the original order of conditions was 2008, and it's been extended, but he's right, there's a 4-year permit extension that kicks in, so.
Right, because of that
It's-
permit thing that they did for
Yeah.
everybody. So
Right.
are we allowed to extend it another 3
Yeah.
years?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't, no, I'm
Yeah.
asking because I
Yeah.
I
haven't.
think we can extend it 3.
Because normally we can extend it up to 3, but we
Yeah.
didn't, because it's not conservation that extended it, it was, state extended
State
it.
act, right. So
State
now it's
act
our,
by
now
4
it's our
years.
first time extending.
Mhm.
If I were, I'd ask for 3 years. That's what we can give you.
Okay.
All right. Any questions from, any questions from the floor? Bring it back to the board. Will someone make a motion for the extension for 3 years for 89 Center Ave?
Motion to 3-year extension on
So
89
It's-
Center Ave,
It's 79, right?
I live at 79, the property is 89.
89.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's a, I have a deed on
A
it.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. We're all set.
Should I come back or?
3 years from now, if you don't get it
Well, I'm
done.
gonna get papers and file them, right, with the registry of deeds?
Yeah,
I'll have it tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Next is up for a request for a partial certificate of
Compliance.
compliance. Lot 5A, 80, file number 5A84-131, 8 Hemlock Lane, attorney Robert Devlin. Is Mr. Devlin here? He said, let's send a lady, can't make it.
Yeah, he can't.
Is there
make it.
anything the board would like to do, in fact he is not here?
Hold on a second. I want to throw that one out. Somebody else can have it.
So he wants a certificate of
Oh, thank you.
compliance for changing lot 5 and 4. He did a, what do you call it, a Form A, and now it's 5A and 4A. Is that what he wants a compliance for?
A partial, he wants a partial certificate.
Yeah,
of
he's
compliance.
actually asking for a certificate of compliance, but I'm confused because he submitted 2 plans.
No.
Yeah, he did.
He, no.
Yeah,
He
there's 2
had,
plans.
can I finish?
Okay. I
Thank
was
you.
just-
I'll explain it to you. From the way you read it, Lot 5 and Lot 4 were submitted before. at the bottom of the second page, it says notes. This plan is a re-subdivision of lots 4 and 5 on the plan entitled definite subdivision plan. I don't understand what he wants a certificate of compliance for, just doing the Form A?
We don't do it for Form As. Nancy, do we have, the file? I mean, really what we're doing is saying that the building is where it's supposed to be.
There's
You
no
know,
building.
there's no building on these.
Right.
No, that was my point, is that these plans that he submitted seem to be a zoning rather than a wetlands, filing. Because, there's no drawing, there's no house on here. That's what we're saying, that he built it where it was supposed to be according to what that subdivision is gonna be.
Right.
So
There's
for
no-
me, I
there's
don't
no-
understand what we're doing.
Kathy, you want to see this?
Yeah, just see if we can dig up the plan. There must be a house spot in here. See, there's a house on this.
The house is right back, I think. Is it, is it in here now?
Yeah, the house is there. There's a house back here, too, right? But,
This is the one he wants approved. The one over here has already been approved.
yeah. So what we need him to do is submit a real plan, an as-built. They said submit as-bills with PE stamps is what we look for, with the
Right.
house on it, and we don't have that.
Well, if
So-
you think it would be easier for us to put it off and have him come in? and
Yeah.
Yeah, I think,
Explain it a little
Yeah.
more?
yeah.
All right, someone make a motion,
I make a motion that we contact the
attorney. have it.
attorneys and tell them that we need an as-built plan of the house, the house lot. They sent us,
And then we'll
yeah,
set up
showing the
another
house
meeting.
and the grading.
Yeah, we'll set up another meeting.
Right, and it needs to be
bring in all that
PE,
when it's all
and there
done.
should be a PE stamp with it.
Okay,
I second the
all right,
motion.
very good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you very much.
Okay, I think John, John, you're here, right?
Well, I think I'm here. In body, may not in mind.
Request for a certificate of compliance, file number 84514, 265 Colonel Hunt Drive. Abington.
66. 66.
All right, my fault. I'm going to the hospital next week for my eyes.
266 Colonel Hunt Drive.
Good evening.
Good evening, John.
I'm John Carter from the Russell Wheatley Company, and I'm here for Mr., well, it's actually Absolute Investments LLC, which is Glenn LaPointe, to get a certificate of compliance for the site that they did on Colonel Hunt Drive at number 266. It's a new building. We had been in front of you to get a order of conditions. The order of conditions had to do with a filling and a replication area that's on the property. I have been out there and shot the elevations. We have done an as-built. You have the as-built. This is a small version of the
No,
as-built.
we don't, I don't think we have the, oh, here we do, we have a big version. Oh, here, you can take the, I have
Okay,
the,
okay. And I brought the original, I had a copy of the original plan, and I didn't have any prints, so I brought the original as-built plan if you wanted to compare it yourselves. What I found was it to be in substantial compliance with all of the construction, all of the work that was to be done.
so
Did a-
John, this just got built, right? This has only been recently built, right? The
Recently
wetlands
built, that's
replication.
correct, that's correct.
So the problem that I'm not having any problem with what you did,
Uh-huh,
but we have 2 growing seasons that we wait for the replication to establish, before we normally issue the certificate of compliance. Unless it's really established, and you could get maybe Brooke to tell us that.
Well, they need the certificate of compliance to sell the house.
yeah, we wanted to get the certificate to sell a house.
You
I mean,
can't have somebody to hold the
that's-
house for 2 growing seasons.
We've
It's-
never had to do that before. I mean, we've been in
But
front of
normally,
DEP.
can you get Brooke to write us a letter to say that it's substantially complete, or how are we gonna control that? 'Cause-
No, I disagree.
I just
We've
wrote
never
to
asked for
him.
this before,
Mike,
ever.
I've been on the board for like 20 years, we have
Okay,
done it
look,
before.
well, since I've been on the board for the last 9, we have never asked for any house to go through 2 growing seasons, so I'm gonna totally disagree with that.
But, no, I'm trying to figure out a way to.
Yeah, well, that's
make this
okay.
work
I
for
mean,
you.
I'm writing a letter because I went through, and I was in touch with Chris Kane from Barcelos and Kane. He asked me for a list of the plantings that had to go in there. I gave him a list of all the plantings. As I was doing my elevations, I went through to make sure that he had planted what he was supposed to plant, and he seemed to have planted everything that I asked him to do.
Right, and really, what we worry is the success of what's there.
Right.
That it actually
Sure,
takes.
sure.
And so, I guess what I was just trying to say is if we could get somebody to say that, that they're successful, you could write us a letter, somebody.
Sure,
That-
sure.
I think that would.
I mean, we're gonna have, you're gonna have to.
All right, well,
I'm trying to figure a way
Yeah,
out
all
for
right,
him, I
let
do
him
understand.
do the letter, and tonight we'll,
Yeah,
and assuming that John will get the letter and know his reputation, we can
Yeah.
take care of this evening.
yeah, no, I understand, because you need to sell the house, I'm not
Right.
I'm
Oh,
not
no,
trying-
that's,
I'm
I
just
know,
trying to-
I understand that.
I'm just trying to make sure we cover
Absolutely, I
ourselves.
understand. We want to do it right.
And normally, a lot of times, you plant in the fall, and, you're not selling till the
Sure,
spring, so
sure.
it's just the way this one went.
I know they just hydro-seeded the whole lawn and everything
Yeah, I know,
last
I
week,
went
so-
out there, and it was, it looked like they
Yeah,
were just
yeah, you did a
planting
nice
everything.
job. You did a really nice job on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it is pretty low there, so hopefully it will take.
Right. Yeah, he was within a tenth of the elevations that he had to. He did it all right.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you want to see what's the after? This is the before. So it looks like it's pretty much, everything's pretty much in the same location. It's good. That's
Okay.
yours, John. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else?
I make a motion to approve the certificate of compliance with the contingent on getting the letter.
Mhm.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
I should ask, anybody from the floor say anything? Nope, okay, thank you. Thank you, John.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks, John.
Up next is the certificate of plans, file number 84503, lot 6A, John Sullivan Drive. Wait, someone here from, you are, all right, very good. Sit right down. Does everybody see Carlton's letter? Any questions from the board?
So, we normally, and this is, we have a few of these. I think John had done an as-built for us, but what we're getting is just a letter saying that, it's in accordance with the plans. Looked like it was, but we're not getting stamped drawings, and the letter's not stamped by Carl.
I submit a stamp drawing.
Yeah, is this stamped, Nancy, this one? I got a
Yeah,
copy of,
yeah.
okay, I just don't have it, that's all.
Yeah.
But this is the original plan, I think, right? Is this the original plan?
I submitted 2 copies, yes.
Of the original,
Yes.
yeah, so it's, I guess my point is that our orders of conditions are pretty clear about what's needed, and we continue to get, it's in accordance with, and are we comfortable with that? Are you guys comfortable with it? I mean,
Everybody
in
else?
this case, I didn't really have a problem,
No.
but I just want to point out that not always am I comfortable with it, because things move, garages get bigger,
Everybody all
porches get
set?
bigger,
Yeah?
okay.
No, I'm sorry, wait a minute.
You don't have to pull it out, Nancy,
Yeah.
we're okay. It's okay, Nancy, I'm good.
Yeah, it's just, I made copies from
I
it.
get it, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You were doing me a favor, thank
All right,
you.
someone make a motion?
I just have one question. Are you gonna come through on each lot for a certificate of compliance?
This is the last one.
This is the last
So
one, okay.
The only thing I need now is the street one,
Right, okay.
so,
That was my only question.
last one.
I'll make a motion to accept as filed certificate of compliance for 84503, Lot 6A, John L. Sullivan Way.
Second.
Second motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Very good, thank you, sir,
So-
appreciate your time. Next, the notice of intent for George Millet, Hawkeye Fence, from Brockton, for 194 and 204 Bedford Street. Step up here, sir, please. Oh, did we get this too? Did we get this?
I'm here too.
How you doing?
I have some additional plans for you. We had made the submission to the planning board, so in making the submission to the planning board, we did our due diligence and we did sets of the plan, so I had a couple of sets to submit to you, which, the layout is just like that. It's just, these would just have a little more detail on them, and there's some elevations and so forth and so on. Okay, so,
Where's the wetland?
I am here, good evening, my name is John Cotter, and I'm with the Russell Wheatley Company. I'm here with Mr. George Millet. He's the owner of the property, and with David Zack. He works for George's Hawkeye Fence. And we are here tonight to see if we can obtain a order of conditions for the property at number 194 and 204 Bedford Street. In the ad.
It's underneath.
Oh, I didn't. Great, thank you very much.
Does it say anything?
What did you say? It said, notice-
It says, although the following, no, there's nothing on it.
Cool.
As far as that's concerned. Pardon me?
Order of condition, notice of intent.
Was sent, we're gonna be asking for an approval for an order of
Oh,
conditions.
okay.
I submitted the notice of intent. I'm sorry, my apologies. So we are here, the property is located, as you see, on the west side of Route 18, Bedford Street. As you see on the existing conditions plan, it's currently two residential house lots. And what is being proposed is to remove the two houses and create a learning center for little kids, a daycare, thank you. Man. So the building itself, the new building itself is, if you wanted to turn to sheet 2, is going to be 75 by 134.4 feet. It has, with parking and other school amenities, had to be used as a preschool. I should have just kept on reading. Project has, as I had said, has been submitted to the planning board for site plan review. So there have been drainage calculations done for a proposed underground stormwater management system. It will be, it has been designed for the 2-year, the 10-year, and the 100-year storm. And the runoff, if I may, I made a couple of copies of the summary.
You knew I was gonna ask for that.
I have it here. But what it comes down to is, in summary, in all three cases, in all three storms, I left them at the office.
Okay.
But in all three instances, the stormwater from existing to the proposed is less. It keeps these are the stormwater reports. So that
But
the
this
drainage
isn't-
system.
What you have is the calc, though. I don't
Yeah,
know. Do
this
we
is
have
the
a
drainage
Do
system.
we have a copy of that
Yeah,
yet? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
We don't have the calcs.
Oh, boy,
We
I
have
hope I
the
have it.
We have
pollution
these,
prevention
yeah.
plans.
Then I do.
Okay. And has that been approved by the planning board?
No,
yet?
not yet. It's just been submitted. We'll be
Okay.
in front of the, we'll be in front of the planning board at their next hearing.
Okay,
So, here we are. This was the drainage summary that, I didn't forget them. This is the drainage summary, as you can see, it says the existing and the proposed, and proposed with detention. The numbers are all, it's pretty significantly less, actually, considering that it's a very small drainage area, less than an acre. And these are the drainage calculations for
John?
your records.
oh, with detention, never
With
mind.
detention, yeah.
I had to read the
yes.
last line.
Okay, we're going to mitigate from the wetlands. As you can see, the bordering vegetated wetlands line is actually on, for the most part, on property that's owned by Forsyth Stewart Streets Apartments. So we are planning on putting a silt sock along the face of the stone wall that runs along parallel to the back of, parallel to Bedford Street along the back of the property and running up the stone wall to the south and then across in front of the wetlands where at that little, in that little spur of land, if you will, they are proposing to build a playground for the kids, about 5,000 square feet.
Nice. That'd be a nice place.
The site will, as far as recharging, the site will recharge approximately the same amount of runoff in the pre-existing to the post-existing. The soils in this particular area are not very good. They're C and D soils, so they don't really leach very well, but we're not changing that at all. You know, we're
Where is
changing.
it going to exit, John?
It's going to exit out to the back.
To the left here?
To the,
To
yeah,
the
it's gonna
left
come
of
out, it's gonna come out into a riprap, into like a stone, a crushed stone ditch,
Okay,
and then through the wall and into the wetlands.
so this will be all underground?
That's all underground, it's gonna
and
be
then
those,
But it will discharge above ground or discharge
it will
below ground?
discharge, it'll discharge through, well, it's got, yeah, to daylight, but they're gonna have to go through the wall. And they're in negotiations with,
To discharge it on
to
the neighbor's
discharge it
property?
into the neighbor's
Yeah.
property,
Okay.
yes. Mitigation, proposed site, recharge. We're going to be using gas traps. Gas traps, an isolator row is going to be within in the stormwater management system, and there'll be sumps on the outflow manhole in the drainage system in order to conform with the 80% suspended solids for the stormwater management. They will with all the components that we have there, we are within the 80%, a little more than 80%. So we do take care of that measure as far as the stormwater is concerned. The site is not in an area where it may impact the public water supply. It's in it's, as I said, it's you know, the back of it is a bordering vegetated wetlands. And there will be no illicit discharges of any kind into the stormwater system. It's not allowed, and we don't have any that, you know, this site itself and the proposed use of the site wouldn't be creating any of that anyhow. It's really going to be a school, parking area, and a playground area.
At the back of the building, John, is there, is it gonna be, where does the paving stop?
The
Is there gonna
paving
be
stops
paving back here?
not along the back of the building. No, that's going to be grass.
And you don't need emergency access for the fire or anything
I
back there?
haven't talked to the fire department about it as far as that's concerned
Okay.
at this point.
But
They
your
do
plan was
have-
to be grass, so it's gonna be pretty much paved in the front
Yeah.
and to the side over there.
Yes, yes,
But this back here,
and that's going to
back
be
here, there'll be a grass sort of buffer
correct.
all here, and then back here will be grass because it's playground. Okay.
The school doesn't
Yeah.
have a lot of access around back to the children.
Yeah, I understand. I just was asking because
Yeah.
sometimes we see fire.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the only reason that you
Right.
might have to have
Right.
that back there. But I just
Right.
I just couldn't tell from here.
Right. So So anyway, in conclusion, the use, I believe the use of the property as a preschool will be, I think it's a very positive project to do in the town. I think it's probably needed. I don't know of any large preschools other than the one on North Avenue that they have in this town. And I think it'll be good for the community. And if there are any questions regarding the site, I'll be happy to answer anything that you might have. If I may
So
add,
John-
all of the utilities, all of the services that are going to be coming in, there are existing services already on Bedford Street, so that everything that's going to be coming into the site is already there. And we'll be utilizing, as far as curb cut, we'll be utilizing existing curb cuts that are already on Route 18.
Oh, okay.
So John, I think your biggest thing is you need to get planning to finalize
Yes.
the design.
Yep.
So,
So we're waiting on that. We submitted that. We're going to be going in front of the planning board at the June meeting.
so, should we postpone approving until after that? I don't know if anybody has any comments, but it looks pretty straightforward to me.
Yeah.
That looks
I
like a
think
good
we-
project.
I think we can approve the wetlands.
Yeah, I think the wetlands look
Because
fine.
the planning board will have to take up the rest.
I just don't want to have,
This-
if you have changes on the plans, I don't want to make.
I don't anticipate any changes. We've gone through,
Well, that's-
there are a list of revisions that we've already gone through
Oh, you've
amongst
gone back.
ourselves, between the architect and ourselves.
Okay.
And this is the final, this is going to be hopefully the final project
Just
for
a
submission.
question, because it is a daycare. Are there any stipulations that the state might put in to move the building or anything for any reason? Because the state is really particular about certain, like, access and exits and so forth. I'm just asking a
Yeah,
question.
As far as the state is concerned, their regulations basically let you put a daycare on a residential property. They're very amenable to dealing with daycares and
Okay.
supporting daycares. There's one additional thing on this plan that needs to be addressed. As you face the property at 194 Bedford Street, which is the house on the left-hand side, in the rear of the property, there's some trees that are dangerously leaning and could be a hazard, a safety hazard, and we'd like to get the permission, conservation permission to remove those trees.
Are they they're not in the wetland? Because the wetland looks like it's off property?
Well, the big one is not in the wetland. It's right against the,
Like right
right
here.
against the wall, and it's a
I
big
mean,
one.
it literally would crush the house and the building. It leans and it's leaning over the building.
Stop
That
by and
should
Look
be
at
a
it, it's
danger.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just happened, it just fell that way and it never fell fully into the house.
So if it's on your property,
No, it's on the neighbor's property.
well, we can't give you permission to take a tree down on someone else's property.
Have you asked them?
Have you asked them?
Yeah, they said if I got permission from the board.
Oh,
They would let us.
Oh, okay.
All right, then,
Yeah.
there's a safety thing, sure.
Safety,
I don't-
yes.
Absolutely.
There's three of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't want to
Yeah.
argue about that.
But John, they're all outside the wetland, right?
Yes,
So.
yes,
So
I
we don't
believe
have.
so.
Okay.
I believe they're all
Yeah, they're right
outside the
here.
wetland. They're all right
They're
against
right
the
up against the
wall.
wall.
All
Okay.
right, good. All right. No reason not to take those down.
Anything else?
No, the,
Anybody in the audience? Want to say something? No? Back to the board? So we can approve under the stipulation, for, once it goes to planning,
this guy's just gonna ask, can we approve the plans as submitted? The wetlands as submitted?
You can
And,
issue an order of conditions with special provisions saying subject to the approval of the planning
Right.
board.
Okay, very good, thank you.
yeah, because in case anything changes, you'll have to
Right.
come back. If
Right.
nothing
Right.
Back to
changes,
the board.
Right, I guess the,
Yep.
it's just more of a pain in the
Absolutely.
neck for you.
You can close the hearing and,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
all right, very good, thank you, sir. Will someone make a motion for that, please?
I'll make a motion that we accept the plans as submitted with the approval of the planning board for lots 194 and 204 Bedford Street within the buffer zone. Anything else?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in.
Do you want all three sets of these? Just need the two?
You want one, keep one? You need to keep one? You need to keep one?
No, no, I don't. I just
Nancy.
wanted to make sure Nancy had enough.
Nancy,
We
you
need
have-
copies of these,
We
right?
need copies of these, these are the new ones.
These are the new
Oh,
plans.
new one, too,
Here,
yeah,
wanna give her this one too?
okay.
Here.
One, two. You Fold it, is that easier?
You're welcome.
These.
Don't forget those.
Be walking into walls. Well, like I said, a little comic relief never hurt anyone.
Next up is the notice of intent filed by Tom Flaherty,
Thank you very much.
Mass Department of Conservation
Thank
and
you,
Rec-
John.
Recreation, Lakes and Ponds for Cleveland Pond.
Yep. So I'm here, Colin Goslin, Solitude Lake Management. I'm here on behalf of Tom Flannery, DCR, for herbicide treatment of Cleveland Pond. It's roughly, about 100 acres. 80% of it, or roughly 80 acres of it, is infested with invasive fanwort or kabamba. It's kind of slowly taken over the pond, kind of choking out all the natives. You can't recreate in there. Past July, no boats can go in there. It just gets tangled up. So we're proposing the use of sonar herbicide. It's very low toxicity. It's a systemic herbicide, meaning that it contacts the roots, and you can have years of control of it. So we're planning a treatment, hopefully, early June, depending on approval, maybe even late May for the fanwort.
The reason that they're here is part of that pond is owned by us, right, Jim?
45 acres is in the process of being sold to DCR.
Okay, that's why when the fella called me, he had to get me to say that they can do the work within that area we own, the town owns, our conservation's asset and control. So everybody realizes that? Okay, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so, we're planning on treating it, and hopefully, in future years, some of the native plant species can, regrow and populate,
Will-
back in.
My question, having gone there when I lived on Loganberry Drive with my kids for years, will the species like fish and stuff would be affected? Will they be killing that stuff? Or-
No.
Well, animals that go around the pond, will they shy away and stuff like that?
Nope. Actually, the herbicide that we're using is less on the toxicity scale. It's less toxic than Coca-Cola. We'll be using, it's EPA registered and then state registered. We'll be using well below the threshold of the max label rate. So, everything, once we get approval from here, Mass EPA has to approve it as well. They kind of look into it and, essentially.
And then even like, people get wet from, they're not gonna bother them and stuff like that?
No.
So after the herbicide is applied, is there anything you're going to do to encourage the natural species to regrow, or?
Yeah, I mean, the herbicide that we're using is actually very selective. It doesn't target the natives. It only targets the kabamba out there. That it's basically the invasives outcompete the natives. They kind of shade over them. So there's very little diversity, especially native plant diversity out there. So no, we won't plant afterwards, but you know, once you kill the kabamba, it'll give a chance for the natives to come back.
And will we need to reapply at some point, do you think?
Well, I mean, the pond's in pretty bad shape right now. You know, the first step would be to do the sonar treatment. You get a couple of years of control. You know, we got 80 acres now. You know, there will be some regrowth in future years, but you'd switch to a different herbicide, which is a contact herbicide, where you could spot treat about, you know, an acre here, acre there, you know, a few acres, and get into kind of a maintenance phase.
And you've used this elsewhere nearby, or?
Yep. Yeah, we do quite a bit of maintenance.
Is this similar to what they did at Lake Winnipesaukee years ago?
Yep, different herbicide, but yes,
Similar.
we treat all over Winnipesaukee.
Okay.
It's for milfoil up there. So.
Anybody else? John, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm Jim Dombrowski, I'm with the Over Sportsman's Club. We ran the fishing tournament up there for years. It's always been a problem that the weeds come around June, chokes the pond out completely. It was probably in the late 80s, early 90s when the state ended up sending an ACT, Jerry Smith from Aquatic Control Technology.
Yep.
They did hydro raking. I'm just curious why the state is now looking at applying chemicals rather than doing the hydro raking.
Yeah, so it's a good question. The hydrorakin is actually, you know, to get some more depth. It can take out water lilies, but with a fan wort, it kind of spreads by fragmentation. So if you're trying to dig that up, you're actually spreading the plant.
Well, you're aware that the majority of that pond is shallow,
Oh, yeah.
very shallow.
Yeah. Okay. So I think maybe, I can't speak for, you know, Jerry. I used to work with Jerry, but I don't know what their goal was, because there's no way you can remove, you know, physically remove this kabamba. It actually just makes it worse. Any milfoil spreads by fragmentation. So once you start digging at it, you'll see it start floating away, and it's just gonna get worse.
Well, I think back then they had arranged something with Jerry for doing that because he used to do Lake Holbrook.
Yep.
And it was applied with, you know, different chemicals were applied over there. What I would be concerned with is that the Conservation Commission has the information of the chemicals that are being applied, so they know all the effects or non-effects that may be contributable to that particular chemical. Also, the other thing you may have to do is post, I don't know if after the application, non-consumption of the fish is required.
No. Well, actually, we do post prior to treatment around. Sometimes we'll just close the pond, even though the label rate doesn't have any restrictions besides irrigation. The herbicides that we use don't bind to the fish tissue, so there's no.
That's something that the Conservation Commission would want that information.
Yep, we
files on that particular chemical.
We
or
included-
any other chemicals that are
Yeah, it is,
potentially.
they provided it in the
Yeah, it's right
notice
here
of-
from.
Okay. So, this is gonna, after it goes to us, it will go to DEP,
Yep.
and they'll approve it as well?
Yep. Well, they'll review and hopefully approve. Yeah.
Okay.
So they look at, you know, if there's any endangered species in the area and whatnot.
And it's like, yeah, here's a question. When you do this, the chemicals in the dam, will that allow you to do your fishing thing?
Oh, the club hasn't held a fishing tournament down there in years.
Oh, all right.
Basically because of the-
So assuming they're gonna do this with the chemicals and stuff, and we'll have an indication of how well it goes.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I mean, that's why I asked, you have basically two ways of getting rid of the weeds, problematic weeds in the pond.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Either looking at mechanical removal or chemical removal.
Oh, all right. And he said,
You worked with Jerry Smith for years. I dealt with Jerry when he used to do Lake Holbrook.
right,
And there was chemical treatments over there. The biggest thing is when you say the pond is being treated with herbicides, that the general public is gonna be paying
Poison.
poison. Just like they did with the MBTA with the application of Roundup.
Right.
So this is the thing that you want to be well prepared for with notification to the general public. I don't know whether something in the
Could you-
newspaper would be.
Yeah, could you just supply us, I don't see it, with a label or just, what,
Yeah, yeah.
Is it in here?
There should be.
Yeah, there's
Yes.
up in the back, there was a.
Someone else is one chemical that's been used
An
for years.
attachment sheet.
Like Sunset Lake and Braintree is used it quite often.
Yep, we still do it there.
I'm swimming in Sunset Lake.
What's that?
I'm swimming in Sunset Lake.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason why I mentioned something about the public notice in the newspaper about the application of chemicals, because you have people come in from the backside and ripping out the power lines and things of that nature.
If Michael wants to go fishing someday, we don't want him to
You
get
don't
lost.
want to get sprayed or anything of this nature, but
But you're gonna you'll post.
Yeah,
before
we-
it comes, right?
yeah.
Okay, good.
How is it applied into the?
On when we get out there, probably would use a pellet formulation with an airboat. You know, it's the best. It doesn't chop up the weeds. You can stay on top, get in real shallow areas, but that's
So
most.
just poured into the water?
Yep, it's a slow released pellet, kind of on a spreader.
Yep.
So
So it's not a mist or anything?
no.
Or a liquid?
Yep. Well, if we did a liquid, it would be a subsurface as
Yeah.
well. So.
Anybody else? Someone want to make a motion that we accept what they're gonna do?
I make a motion to accept the notice of intent.
All those in favor? Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
is this going to be something that's going to be ongoing?
Well, like I said earlier, I guess the first year is a sonar. It's kind of like a whole lake treatment. You do have carryover. It's in the states very. Tom Flannery is kind of in charge of this. We'll be doing monitoring. So after this year, you know, we could have 100% control, and you just have to continue to monitor it. Most likely, we'll probably be using contact herbicides for a few acres.
What I'm thinking is, are you going to have to continue it when you go through, say, a 3-year program, and you see the certificate of compliance, and you have to reapply? Or are you going to be looking for something, some sort of perpetual conditions? Where you don't have to keep on coming back with a notice of intent on that one particular chemical, or if you change over to, say, copper sulfate or something of that nature.
Yeah, no, we would have just ask for an extension, you know, prior to the expiration for, 3 years. It's kind of typically what we do.
When you're all done, just send us a letter saying it's all done.
Yeah, no, what we'll do is, we like to send we have to do a year-end report, so maybe we could just attach that to you guys, in sometime in
Yeah.
December.
Oh, good, very good.
Have the water's been tested, or is there any test program that you've gone through?
I would have to ask Tom Flannery. He's in charge of all
I know, and the reason why I ask this is Ames Knoll State Park has typically neglected those waters historically.
the.
There's nothing that's ever been done for it, other than the hydrant back in the
Ames Lawn?
Ames Knoll, Cleveland Pond.
Yeah.
They keep on trying to change the name, that won't happen.
Yeah.
But everyone knows it's Cleveland Pond.
Yeah. So I don't know the answer, but Tom Flannery is.
If it has been, I think the commission would be well advised to receive a copy of that, have that file too, if he's got it.
We're all set?
Thank you very
Thank
much.
Good luck.
Thank you for coming in, appreciate it very
Yep.
much. Okay, back to all business.
12 years.
So the reason I asked to pull out Mass Highway was because obviously it's going gangbusters. And what I saw is that they're taking down the vegetation and then they're putting up the silt fence, which was making me crazy.
Well, having gone up Route 18 all my long time, I was shocked when I
It's
got up
crazy.
by,
It's crazy
there's nothing there, no trees, no nothing.
Everything,
Going
yeah.
up the bridge?
Oh, my God.
Right, and they
It
did
was
it in
unbelievable.
Weymouth, they did the same thing in Weymouth as they did here, and that's when I wrote that email. There was areas where they had hauled down the trees, there was a big mess next to the wetland, and then they finally put the hay
All the
bale.
socks were up.
So the socks, and so what I thought was that we all might wanna just take a look at the old plans that we have, because there's
Here-
a few more areas that they're gonna get at.
We went to the meeting,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be
and
helpful.
our contact, because instead of having 13,000 people call whoever they want,
Sure.
our contact is Lisa Rhodes.
Oh,
And any questions or any concerns, for instance, you know, the covering of the piles and so forth, that was brought up. And that was brought up, and that was addressed by, she has a German name, I think it's in here someplace.
so,
Iggenboard,
what's,
Hedgeman.
are those piles clean dirt, or are
Yes,
they're not,
and they're,
they're not gas dirt or
no,
anything? Because there is,
they come and go. But see, I'm just tired of this. There's in other words, there's people that, we contact Lisa Rhodes, she will then, she will then respond to whomever, whether it be DEP, whether it be Gioso, whether it be whoever, and she will get back with an answer. And so all questions, all correspondence go through her.
so do we
from
have her phone number and email address?
Oh, yeah, everything's right here.
Oh, cool. I guess maybe Nancy could send it out to us all. Oh, Nancy, did you send this to us already, this
Shouldn't we have
letter?
one person?
Yeah,
handle
that's,
What?
it? Shouldn't one person handle it instead of 5 or
Yes.
6
Yeah.
people?
right.
But
So
no,
that we're not contacting Ingle.
Right.
And this, so
We just
all,
release it.
and I happen to have her email too at the house. She gave me all the information to make it simple.
That would be great
Yep.
to have, just because as we go forward, you know, it would have been an easy thing for me to have just,
Go ahead.
So how long is it permissible for them to have those piles of dirt uncovered?
Is, unless there's gonna be downpours and so forth, and like overwinter when they're not having construction, because the piles will go down, then they'll be built back up, and they're using them at certain places. They addressed the bridge construction, when we were at this meeting, and how they're gonna build the bridge, and then they're gonna just move it into place. And all that was, oh, here, this is, yeah. Here's, this is what we got when we were at the meeting.
oh, maybe.
So everything,
Oh.
and there was three or four people that spoke, including the Gioso.
Yeah. Just
And there
couldn't
was
go that day 'cause
the
it was work.
DEP spoke, and as far as conservation from Abington and Weymouth are concerned, we have our contacts, they will then contact DEP and have all the issues addressed. So, just a simple, but everything, they gave us everything that we could possibly need as far as contacts, but instead of, like, if I wanted to contact somebody about something and Jerry wanted to contact, you wanted to just contact Lisa Rhodes, and she will then,
So we
We have
just
a
need-
contact.
We just need her phone number and her email, if you can give that to Nancy.
Oh, so here.
It just has her name on the front, it doesn't have her,
wait a minute, it's in here.
it's there?
About line 5 down, I think it's 3 or 4 down.
Oh, there she is. Oh, perfect, okay.
Everything, yeah, right here.
Okay, oh, so she's DEP. So she's who we talk to if we have an issue. But I guess, you know, the reason I wrote that email was it was going gangbusters, and I was just getting frustrated because I wasn't seeing siltation at all.
Oh, they're
And
gonna,
then they put it in, you know, after they.
After they did it.
but all that,
And then, you know, there's stuff just sitting there.
yeah, all that is being done, everything before it's done, the
get an email.
environmental, everybody, there's so many environmental, whether it be DEP or Habitat or this or that, they're all over them just to make sure that nothing's going to be, and there's actually a, is it Ingrid? She's there all the time, I guess she's
Yeah.
on site.
It's in the site office. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, she's in the site office, right,
They said, she-
yeah.
yeah.
So, I guess, you know, the one place that I think that they haven't got to yet is, you know, in Oak Street, where that red house is in front. In back, they're gonna build,
I think taking down that house, did they buy that property over
I
there?
don't know,
What, the
but they're gonna.
locksmith's house?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the lot.
They're gonna put, and there was a big
There's a
drainage system that's gonna
big
go back
drainage
there.
thing in back
And-
there, yeah.
And obviously, there's a drainage system that's gonna go on the Gioso property. Both of those need to happen, you know, as they're building to deal with the
Yeah.
stormwater.
Well, I
But
mean,
those
it-
two are probably the two biggest places that we're gonna see a lot of action. But, you know, along the road, there's small places where there's some wetlands too. that, you
Well,
know.
they started on, going up 18, I noticed, just before York Street, Vineyard Road there,
Yeah, they
they
took,
started on that side.
right, and there's,
set this-
they took everything down, then they put
Sock in.
the sock in, but there's still piles sitting there for
Yeah, I
a
saw
couple of
that, yeah,
days. You
yeah.
know, it's not like things are necessarily moving very quickly.
Well, I think,
They're just
well, I
doing
think one conversation that I was talking with the fellow about, he said the first thing we're doing is the poles, and there's, what did I
Right.
tell you, 200, let me just say?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He told us 200 or something like that?
Right,
Yeah.
and then the sidewalk's gonna go behind the pole, so you can see how big the road's gonna be, guys.
Well, they gotta, all that's gotta be done first,
Right, and they're
and
doing,
they're
it
moving
looks,
the other stuff.
it looks like they're doing the side that, there's, in Abington anyway, they're doing the side that, you know, one side is getting developed first,
Yeah.
obviously. They're
I
gonna,
know,
you know,
they-
try to put the road in
There's
first.
there's a, and you can probably get more information, but there's a series of events. For instance, they're doing all the wall work, they're getting all the wall work done.
Right.
And then I think it's the poles, and then,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
first it was removal of all the trees.
Right,
So there is a series of events, and
They're going
then
step by step.
then they might be doing a lot of work in Weymouth for a while until, for instance, the bridge is a big thing.
that's huge.
Okay?
That's,
And so,
When
as far
did
as,
this-
as far, huh?
When did they say that was scheduled? September?
I think it's gonna be done this year.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they have to do both sides, so they're gonna do one side one weekend and
Yeah.
then work on the other side and do the
Yeah.
other side another weekend.
They
Top
they have to
shot.
close Route
Shut
18
the
for
T
2
down.
weekends.
Yeah,
You know, they're building a second bridge right beside it, and they're gonna tear that
Yeah.
down more.
It's
Do
nuts.
the right over.
it's huge,
So-
but, I think we're gonna see a lot of disruption, but I also think we, you know, just need to start paying attention ourselves. But it's nice we have a contact.
Oh, yeah, but see, we'll just, we have the contact, any questions, it'll be addressed by, in just the way it was put,
Well,
but,
we get the emails
yeah.
of what's going on, all
I
of
just,
that.
yeah, I just wanted to bring it up because I don't think we talked about it. and
Yeah,
it
that's
was-
fine.
It's better now because the hay bales are up, I mean,
Okay.
the silk
Right.
socks are up. But
Okay.
before that, they were hauling stuff down without the silk
Yeah,
socks.
oh, great, all right, then, very good.
That was all I wanted to bring up.
All right.
Thanks.
Couple of things on old business. Over this school, the fellow called today, he wants to take all the socks, hail bale and stuff up, so for the back they're doing, so I told him it was all right to do it.
That sounds good.
What else? All building permits, there were no conservation involved.
Good.
We went to Rockland Street, Jim and I.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
Sorry I couldn't go.
well, they're not doing anything right, so we told him to stop, and he's gotta get an engineer, and get back to us before he go any further. He's literally in 50 feet from the water.
Oh, so
And
he's
he
close.
took the trees down, but all the brush and stuff, he pushed off his property into somebody else's property where the water is, so we asked him to
Pond out
stop.
back there.
Wow.
We asked him to stop, so he said he would, get an engineer, he's gotta come back to us. What else? Adam Street today, there was some fill in there, it was asphalt, and some other junk fill.
So that was the old drive-in property
Yeah,
that you're talking
so
about.
Nancy wrote a letter for him to stop, so.
So do we need to send, sent a cease and desist from us?
Yeah, I told him to stop,
Good.
get a hold of it, because he hasn't got like I said, I checked with Liz, he never applied for the permit to put in over 100 yards.
Right, and the other thing is he can't be putting asphalt in there, so,
No, yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's just
that's called-
not
All right, I guess that's it for me.
good.
Anything else, anybody?
That's correspondence, but I think it's basically
Is this your-
copies
No,
of
that's
what
yours.
is forwarded
Oh,
to
that could explain why I
everyone.
couldn't
Do we
find
have to do the order of conditions?
Oh,
Notice of intents, I should say.
oh, this is, anybody want to see some stuff on Route 18, which has been forwarded to you and stuff?
And I'll put it in the back.
Can I borrow this book, Nancy?
Pardon?
Can I borrow this book, or did you send it to me?
That's Russ's.
Oh, it's Russ's?
No, it's just for here, but everything that's on that disc, that's on the cover there, that's what I printed out, so that
Oh,
all that is what's on the
Oh, so can I
disc.
take the disc and give it back to you?
You can take the whole book and borrow it if you want.
Okay,
Whatever.
I mean,
Just
I'll
bring
make
it
a
back to
copy.
Nancy, so it's
Yeah.
here in the office.
Yeah, I'll bring it back.
Yeah, 'cause
If
these are-
anybody needs it, I'd like to
These are
look
the
at.
emails and stuff we get.
Yeah.
Anybody want to see them? No?
That's on Route 18 too, the stuff
Yeah.
Nancy's been sending us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I've seen it. Cool, thank you, Nancy. You
Um,
take good care of us.
All right, anything else? Someone want to make a motion?
Do we have to do the notice of intents?
Do what?
We only had one notice of intent, right? Oh, we had two.
Yeah.
Don't we have to do orders and conditions?
Shoot, yeah, you're good. I just wanted to get out of here.
I know, we're all signing papers, and I'm like, oh, Nancy will send
I
that
thought
around
we
in a minute.
signed them. Will you do it for us, Kathy, please?
Okay, so this is, let's do the daycare center first, because that one will be for standard. A1 to A6 and 25 feet for A1. Oh, all of B,
Pardon?
all of B,
Oh,
no C. No D. No E. No F. G1, G2, G3, G4, G5, 25 feet, G6, G7, H2, H4, H5, H6, H7, H8, H9, I1, I2, A, B, C, D, E, F. Any special conditions? That's it.
Would the special conditions be that
We are.
we have to wait for the approval of the planning board?
Planning board.
Planning board, yes,
Okay.
contingent upon approval, planning board approval. Okay, now, I don't think any of these,
I don't think,
any
yeah.
of these apply to this. There's some standard ones.
The only special conditions would be notification and placards,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which they would have to do anyways by law.
pardon?
So
They have to do
special-
anyways by law.
Oh, so we don't need it?
I know, I don't think
No,
they do.
no, but I mean, if,
Just special conditions.
yeah, that would,
Under
that's,
special conditions, say that they will placard, they will post before, at the park,
Yeah.
before application, and that they will provide a after-action report. Does that make sense? Because I don't think there's any of these really apply.
no, they're gonna be in the water.
So we can give these back to Nancy, so they're here.
Okay.
That's it. That one's easy, Nancy. That'll take you 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.